Hey, what's up guys? TMax here. Welcome back to my mini-series on cultural observations that I've had over the last 3 years that I've been living here in China. We've done a lot of videos so far, so if you haven't checked those out, when you finish watching this one, also go check those out. So I have a few more observations that I just haven't been able to classify. We're going to do it in two parts. So today is the first part. So first random observation is probably the most obvious observation when you land in a major city in China. There are people everywhere. Always. Everywhere. It's people. Always. Just lots of people here in China. And so I live in Beijing, the capital, so whenever there is an important political meeting, everybody in the city knows it, not because they're watching it on the news or because they're going to the meetings, but because every overpass and every train bridge has soldiers guarding it. I remember one time I was in Xi'an, the trucks that clean the roads and clean after parties or whatever, this truck was playing Jingle Bells. Here in Beijing, I never hear the trucks play music, but this one, for whatever reason, was playing Jingle Bells in August in China. Christmas is quite popular here in China, at least commercially, and when you go into stores, you will hear traditional Christmas songs, but a lot of them have been translated to Chinese, so you're going to hear, you know, whatever your favorite Christmas song is, and then suddenly it's being sung in another language, and you're like, wow, okay, that's interesting. And when you go to malls and stores, they decorate for Christmas. They decorate for all the holidays here, but Christmas, like, they really go above and beyond. A lot of major malls have like trees outside with lighting and presents and elves and just all the whole shebang-a-bang. They go all out. It looks like Candy Cane Lane in California. Okay, so a word of advice, never go to the bank in the morning. It's crazy crowded. Older people who still don't trust WeChat still do all their banking first thing in the morning when it opens. So just avoid it. Just don't go to the bank in the mornings. Don't go there. In the US, when we talk about battery sizes, we have AA, AAA, C, D, and we don't think twice about this naming convention. But here in China, they just use a number. So AA would be number 5, and AAA is number 7. So another thing that I talk about on this channel a lot is air pollution, because I live in Beijing and the air is not great. So an interesting thing about air pollution that I haven't talked about in my other videos is that I have now put all the cities that I've lived in before moving to Beijing in my app, and so I can compare and see what their air pollution is like versus Beijing. And I lived in Alaska. Air pollution is always 1. But surprisingly, Brussels and Stuttgart, Germany, don't have too high air pollution, and they're both pretty major cities. So Chinese men don't have a lot of facial hair. And this was weird for me because, you know, in all the Chinese martial arts movies and stuff, you know, all the old guys like the long mustache and a long beard. You don't see any of that here. Most guys have no facial hair, and some guys, if they do, they have just scruffs or little patches. When the white my guys are making deliveries, you know, from a grocery store or from JD or whatever, you know, they usually deliver on scooters. And if they're going into an office building or into a community like mine, they can't drive in the community. So they park outside the community and then walk in. They leave the rest of their products on the scooters and they go deliver the food. And nobody ever takes the stuff out of these scooters. Man, Scout's honor. And Chinese people are just a very community focused, like in their neighborhood and their families especially. They take care of each other. They're friends. They're very nice. They're very considerate. And they just go out of their way to take care of each other. But towards strangers, they're not rude, they just don't care about you. And then when you see them behave with their family, like, oh wow, so night and day. And it's just very interesting because in the West, I now notice this even more, people are so much nicer to strangers than their own family members. They're so quick to be mean and yell at their family, but treat strangers, you know, like royalty or whatever. And in China, it's the opposite. The grandparents help raise the children. And, you know, in lots of cultures, the family will raise a child. But here in China, the parents are at work, and so the grandparents will take care of the kids while they're at home. And they enjoy it, and they kind of look forward to it. And you can tell it's part of the culture. You know, this is part of the reason why people are pushing their kids to have kids and get married and stuff, because they want to raise their grandbabies. And I get it. You ever get on an elevator, and you see the elevator capacity, and it say like 12 people, and you get on an elevator and maybe there's like 5 or 6 of you and you're like, oh, we're pretty much full. Not here. They're like, 11? We can beat that. 15, 20 people try to get on the elevator, and most people are quite small, so if you have enough small people, you can get over that number. And I've seen it, and it's nerve-wracking when you're on the elevator, like, oh my gosh, this thing is gonna break. There's like 20 of us on here, and it's only designed for 3 people. Okay, so remember, this is part 1 of part 2. I don't want to make this video too long. So all of you expats out there who are living in China and you've watched all the other videos and you've left comments on those other specific categories, and you just have a random comment about China that you want to share, throw it on this video or the next video. And for all the new people, thanks for stopping by. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in part 2 of this smaller part of the part 12. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna stop talking.